Hey, Tej Stouffer from Recycled Fish, and if there's one thing we all love, it's catching more and bigger fish. That takes the right bait, the right presentation, and the right location at the right time, but it also takes more and bigger fish being there in the first place. So if we want to catch more and bigger fish, they have to be there, and for them to be there, it takes us as sportsmen being stewards of our waters. This is Stewardship on Ice.
Catch and release.
You know, catch and release matters even if we're just pursuing panfish. It's often been believed that you can never put enough pressure on panfish. That's not true. The truth of the matter is, we have gotten so effective as anglers, and there's so many of us out there fishing, that catch and release matters whether we're open water fishing or ice fishing.
Selective harvest.
Selective harvest. Recycled fish is not the catch and release Nazis. Look, fish are delicious, they're healthy, they're a renewable resource, and part of the heritage of our sport is bringing fish home for the table. But we have to harvest selectively. What that means is harvesting panfish and releasing predators, or keeping mid-sized fish from any species and letting the biggest fish go. It's about genetics. You know, I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall, Shaquille O'Neal is 6 feet 8 inches tall, so who's gonna have bigger kids, me or Shaquille O'Neal? Shaquille O'Neal, right? Because of genetics. It's the same with fish. Big fish make big fish, just like big people make big people.
Clean up trash.
You know, a lot of trash that we find at our lakes doesn't start out at our lakes. If you clean up trash in a ditch or in a parking lot at a grocery store, you're cleaning up trash at our lakes. One big rain event and it all washes downstream, so anywhere you clean up trash counts for taking trash out of our lakes. The other thing, you know the people who leave trash at our lakes? If you went to their house, it would look the same way. It would look like a disastrous pit. So, clean up trash anytime you see it in the water and make up for the other guy. That's part of being more than a sportsman, being a steward.
Lead-free lures.
You know, lead is not the worst thing that's ever happened to our waters, but we all know it's not the best. Lead is a toxic substance, and the way that it's mined isn't good for our waters. The way that it's refined isn't good for our waters, and when we lose it in our waters, fish, wildlife, waterfowl, they do ingest it, and they'll die when that happens. If we can get away from lead, there's no reason not to, and there's a lot of good alternatives out there. Tungsten, steel, tin, bismuth, all these things are non-toxic alternatives to lead, and they all get our bait down in the water. Why wouldn't we use them?
Consider your auger.
Consider your auger. You know what? When the ice is thin enough and you can get away with a hand auger, there's no way to beat people power in terms of being environmentally friendly. We run Strike Master's electric auger. Now true, it's got a lead acid battery, but as long as it's disposed of properly, there's no waste with it. We can cut about 40 holes on average thickness of ice, and so we love Strike Master's electric augers. A couple other options that are out there now. We're an ice team partner, and Jiffy is making a propane auger. Now you have to figure out how you're going to dispose of the green bottles, and you got to have it. It's a heavier auger, but very clean burning, and we like that. Strike Master's 4-stroke augers. Those are very clean burning augers, light, very powerful auger, cuts a ton of ice. Probably the most popular auger in ice fishing is the 2-stroke motors. You know, even if you're running a 2-stroke motor, if you start the season with a tune-up and make sure that all your fittings and connections are always good and secure so that we're never leaking any gas or oil out on the ice. We want to be as safe as we can be with all of our equipment when we're out there ice fishing. And that includes especially our augers.
Everyday choices.
Now, here's the truth of the matter. The stuff we do every day, the stuff we do when we're not on the water, matters just as much as what we do when we're on the water, because our lifestyle runs downstream.
Recycle and buy recycled.
How does that affect our waters? Well, we know trees are good for our waters, and when we cut down trees, that's not good for our waters. So recycling, for example, uses less water, pollutes less water, and it keeps more trees standing. That means clean air, which is good for clean water, and less erosion, which is good for clean water. Clean water makes more and bigger fish. So, recycle and buy recycled, whether that's paper or glass or aluminum or plastic or anything that can be recycled or bought as a recycled item. That's just as important.
Use less energy at home.
How does turning off a light when you leave a room help our waters? Well, it's a one-to-one connection. Okay, so how do we get most of our power in this country? Most of our power comes from coal. Just like we said earlier with lead. The way we mine coal is not great for our waters, and the way we transport coal, not great for our waters. And when we burn coal, we know that that's not great for our waters. There's no such thing as clean coal. Now that's not to say that coal is bad or energy is bad. Thank God for energy. Look, we're seeing each other because of energy. But using less is good. So when you turn off the lights when you leave the room, or when you screw in a lower energy light bulb, or find any of the thousands of ways you can save energy at home, it's a one-to-one connection with how it helps make clean waters and how clean waters help grow more and bigger fish.
Use less energy on the road.
I don't know about you, but there's something that gets my blood pumping about a big, powerful truck. At the same time, using less energy on the road or wherever we go in life, it's helping our waters. You know, the biggest environmental disaster to happen to our waters in the last year, the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, right? You know, we can point fingers at BP, or we can point fingers at the Obama administration, we can point fingers at whoever we want, but the truth of the matter is, we create that oil demand. Now, we'll always probably be using fossil fuels of some sort, and we're not the enemy, but we can either be part of the problem or part of the solution. When we use less oil, when we carpool to the lake, when we get a little bit more environmentally friendly vehicle, when we combo up our trips, when we fish closer to home, whatever the decision is, when we reduce our use of oil, we're helping our waters.
Give time and money to conservation.
We could always use, we are always under-resourced. We always need more money than we've got. We always need more help than we've got. If you spend one weekend a month fishing, could you find one weekend a year to donate your time to a cause? I can tell you there's lots of causes near you that need your help. Here's a great way to get started. Go to www.recycledfish.org and take the Sportsman Stewardship Pledge. It's free. Or kick in 25 bucks and get a premium membership. You get a t-shirt and a whole bunch of other goodies. The bottom line is this: our waters don't need just more sportsmen. They need stewards like you. Thanks, and great adventure.